let's start, because that will hopefully help a little bit of time. This panel will be organized so that we first give a presentation, and then we will run a debate with the rest of speakers. This is the panel that will elaborate on FIWARE iHUBs. You remember previously in this main conference, we talked about FIWARE Mundus as one of the pillar programs of FIWARE, and FIWARE Mundus was about, making FIWARE global. But we always understood that we had to think global but act locally, and that is what FIWARE iHUBs are all about. So FIWARE iHUBs is about creating the ecosystem and the community grow, acting locally in concrete spaces, cities, centers, and so on. And this is something that is not that much developed as the other programs that you have seen before, but something we expect will be instrumental in the growth of the FIWARE community and the adoption of FIWARE overall. And we need always reference examples for anything in life. So we want to start with a presentation of the FIWARE Zone. And the FIWARE Zone is precisely our first big reference of what we intend that FIWARE iHUBs will be. And it's my pleasure to, and my honor to announce the launch of this FIWARE iHUB this week in this event, the FIWARE Summit. So I will, and then the rest of the panel will be about running a debate with questions and answers with people from the community that is also working on developing the following FIWARE generation of FIWARE iHUBs that are being created not only in Europe, but other countries like Brazil. So with this brief introduction, I would like to introduce Juan Marcelo. Juan Marcelo is the director of the FIWARE Zone, this first reference of what we intend to have as FIWARE iHUBs. And with that, I give you the floor to make your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I live in Andalucía. We have two big problems in Andalucía. One of these is that I don't speak very well. And the other problem is that we are a high rate of unemployment. We have a very big problem with, we have suffering an economical crisis similar to other places, but our reality is that this is the problem to our administration public that need be more efficient. It's a problem for our enterprises that need more competitive. And it's a problem for our students that don't found work locally and need to go to other countries. And it's a problem for all citizens. But we have a problem, a big problem. But we have many strengths. We have a lot of advantages. In Andalucía, in Spain, we have a strong tech sector. We have a lot of enterprises. We have a lot of entrepreneurs that can be to lead the market. We have good universities, and we very well prepare students. We have creativity and innovation spirit. We have the need. We have the motivation and the talent. We had the problems, but we had the means to resolve this problem. What is FIWARE for us? FIWARE for us is an opportunity. It's a big opportunity. We think that FIWARE is an opportunity for our government because it is an open software platform that can be used to all cities in collaboration model. It's an opportunity for our enterprises, because in the next year, many cities will need to buy FIWARE-compatible product and solution, and the enterprise that will be prepared to satisfy those demands will grow quickly. And it's an opportunity for our students, because this enterprise grow, and they will need work it with FIWARE skills. We can be the tool that we can use to resolve this problem. FIWARE, for us, is the way. We make this project before that we know that we are an iHub. We first make this project because we have this necessity. And then when people say, you are an iHub because your objective is an iHub. Perfect, I lovely. But we first create this project. And our objectives in this project show in this slide. We need space where make our activities. We need labs, we need device for use to the enterprise to test his product and make the result to go to the market. We need go to the public administration and tell to you what is FIWARE and what is the benefits of FIWARE for there. We need to form to enterprises. Many of our enterprises don't know nothing about FIWARE. In this community, there are a lot of knowledge about FIWARE, but in the real situation that our market, in our cities, our enterprise in Andalucía, don't know nothing about FIWARE. That is the real potential for us. And we can form to the university, to the teachers. It's very important that the teacher speak about FIWARE in the university. And this is our project. The students are the new entrepreneurs. They will be the owner to the new startup. And they will be the expert in their enterprises. For this reason, the university has the responsibility to teach them about FIWARE. And we are doing it. With this objective, it's a crazy objective. It's difficult. We know that it's a difficult project. And we start with 6 elements, with 6 areas to work. One of these were a physical space. It's necessary to have a physical space where do many things, where show all products to all people that visit to us. We need go to this space with enterprise for show the capabilities of FIWARE. In this space, we have people, we have persons, we have experts in FIWARE that help to enterprise to develop his product in this technology. We have 2 spaces in Andalucía, one in Seville and the other in Málaga. And we want to create more space around the region. We have devices installed in the urban. This device must be used to test the product when you first you learn to use the technology, and then you test this technology in the reality city. We have in this project this device to test your product. We have a platform, a real platform, similar that one enterprise will have when go to sell his product to a city. It's very important. You have agreement with university to show this technology in the university. we have the capability to put different pilots to different concepts in FIWARE in different sectors, in different areas. We pay to enterprise that work all around this, that first learned and their tests and their certificate, her solution. We pay this enterprise to put a pilot in a city in our regions. And finally, when all of this occurs, we go with this solution to the world. We show this solution at the world. We go to FIRE, we go to different events, and we tell about this. The real solution that have a certificate of FIWARE and is put in one city and know all about this community. This project is for 2 years. We born 3 months ago. And in this month, it's a surprise for me, the enterprise and the people who want to work with us and want to participate in our project. Many enterprises, different enterprises. Many universities, all universities have collaborated with us. Many teachers in university want to know about FIWARE. In 2 months, we have different events. We have 2 teachers of University of Seville that we are formed in FIWARE. Yes. Conclusions. We are. This is that we are doing, and this is we are doing in the next in this year. Conclusions. We have a problem, but we have the capabilities, the tools, and the plans to resolve it. We can do anything without the work of involvement of other agents. We need the administration, the public administration. We need the government. We need the universities. We need the enterprises. We need the cluster of enterprises to arrive to the enterprises. We need FIWARE. We need the organization. With all together, government, universities, cluster, enterprise, startup, and entrepreneur, we are sure that we will reduce the rate of unemployment, we will have better and more competitive enterprises, and we will have more efficient cities. We want our cities, our region, our country to be a paradise to live and to work. Thank you.
Okay, so we have had a very comprehensive presentation of what could be the range of activities that a FIWARE iHub will have. And now we have a very nice team of speakers that we want to first invite to elaborate on how they see themselves in this path transforming into their activities locally, running locally into a FIWARE iHub. So I would like you to introduce yourself, explain what sort of activities you are running locally in your area to grow the ecosystem, and how you envision this could evolve to become a FIWARE iHub probably in the future. We start from Eva and then go in this direction. Ladies first.
Okay, good evening everyone, happy to be here. I am Eva from the Austria's biggest and most experienced high-tech incubator called INiTS, working on business development. Why FIWARE for us? Half of our deal flow of our startups, they are operating in the ICT field, and we see FIWARE as a chance to enable quicker development for them. I think we all know FIWARE is good for quick prototyping. So we joined the FIWARE community through the I3H project 2 years ago, and what we do today, I see us as the local contact point for FIWARE-related activities in Austria. So we talk to developers, we introduce them to FIWARE, we talk to SMEs and run some FIWARE workshops, we talk to the city, see what use cases they find attractive, what could be the best synergies currently with the current state of FIWARE development. What we also do is we talk to the universities, we see that they are very interested into launching FIWARE courses. There, I think the FIWARE iHUB approach is very beneficial to share really the best practices. If in Andalucía they are cooperating with universities, we could gather this experience and help universities in Austria to launch FIWARE courses. I think what is remarkable, what we have achieved in Austria is that we talk a lot to the public funding agencies, and today in certain public funding calls, there is a clause inside, if you use FIWARE in the delivery of the project, you kind of get a bonus points. And I think it's really remarkable because it incentivizes companies to use FIWARE. We are, for example, now part of a national call where we are supposed to build a data market for Austria. So it's again about sharing data and letting others use the data, creating business model of this. And our attention is there to also bring FIWARE really into this setting. And I think in general, where this is going in the future, FIWARE needs those FIWARE iHUBs that really leverage on their local ecosystem. We have the relationships, we have a reputation, so I think we can convey the message of FIWARE in a very good way. And especially we as an incubator, when we see, okay, this startup would benefit from FIWARE, we introduce them, we personally can help them to such a level that we show, okay, this is FIWARE Lab, those are the generic enablers that would help you. Once it gets very technical, then we cooperate with other iHUBs that are more technical than we are in Vienna. Yes.
Thank you. So, Vincent.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vincent. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a co-founder of an association called Faubourg Numérique. It's an association created by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs, and we focus on IoT integration into products or process, especially within the industry and agriculture domain, but also a little bit in smart city. Our mission, as you said, is to act locally. So it means we want to deliver added value to our local ecosystem, so especially entrepreneurs and innovators, but also local governments. To do this, of course, it's very important to interact as much as possible with universities because that's the workforce reserve. It's important also to connect this local ecosystem to the global innovation scene, and the FIWARE ecosystem is itself a good way to do this and to connect with other hubs in Europe, but also in the rest of the world. What we offer, in a few words, let's say we have four offers. The first one is a co-working space and also a space to demonstrate the solution for the entrepreneurs. We run also open innovation program, so we offer project management for this kind of open innovation process, especially for SMEs in the industrial domain. We offer rapid prototyping solution, and it's again very important in this case to talk about FIWARE, because if we are talking about IoT, we must talk about the different layers. So, and the idea, of course, with rapid prototyping is to validate the solution as fast as possible. To have the possible implementation of the four layer, let's say the mechanics, the electronics, the communication, and the middleware to have these open APIs that have been discussed before, and to ask the startups, the developers to focus on the added value, to provide very high added value services like proactive maintenance or such kind of services. And we want to implement a new kind of services in 2017. We want to implement a local IoT accelerators in northern France. And we are also connected with the national network in France, a national IoT network for startups called La French Tech. So we are part of this network based on IoT development.
This has been a picture in Europe, but we are a global initiative, so I would like to hear the testimony of Flavio Oliveira from Brazil, and who may elaborate on first steps creating this kind of ecosystems there.
Well, Juan, thanks for the invitation. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm Flavio, as Juan said, from the Federal University of Uberlandia, Minas Gerais, in Brazil. And we started working with FIWARE in the project, building, deploying a FIWARE lab. So that was our first contact with FIWARE. It was 2014. And so basically the idea was to deploy the node and to get in touch with the enablers and the APIs and to understand and start working with it, create some applications in order to understand what I call the FIWARE component model. But since the beginning, as Juan said, what we have today, there is an iHub. Because since the beginning, we have this idea that only have the node or the FIWARE lab inside the university would not be enough. This was just a start point. We should move forward. And our idea was to connect with our local innovation ecosystem. This was really important. So since the beginning, we tried to do this movement, but this is not a thing that happens in one day. It took the time. You need to talk and to convince. It's a movement. And what happens is that from that time to now, we have a strong connection with our local innovation ecosystem. So we have around this initiative, we have companies, what I call like anchor companies. They're big companies that want to work with us in case maybe these companies they are helping us to create calls, and these calls to entrepreneurs or to startups, but they say what they are looking for, what kind of product or solution. This is important. So also we have the startups and we have small and medium enterprises, which also is important because sometimes you have the startups, you have the ideas, the guys, they go there and they hack things and do solutions, but sometimes things does not go forward. And by the way, so we have this in Brazil also, startups doing with hardware, with software solutions, but also we have experience with small and medium enterprise. So like that award-winning product from Nova Friburgo, we're working with them. That's a different approach because they are a well-established company, small one, but they have some product, and then they get FIWARE to connect with their product, to add value to what they do. And so this is a different approach, and by the way, they can use this to take advantage and to leverage their product. So it's the SME approach. By the way, we also can have accelerators, incubators, to support maybe that startups. So we create, we have them, but what's next? So this connection is important. So the idea of the hub is really perfect because we need to put all these guys in the trunk, on the FIWARE trunk, right? So what we need is to talk the same thing. So we have also, it's very important, the public sector. So we have the public sector as well. And finally, the universities. At our region, at Uberlandia, we are leading this as a university, so we're also doing the training part. So since 2014, every semester we have undergraduate students that they had to create solutions. This is like an ending project to their course, and I said that they have a non-functional requirement, use FIWARE. And so they create the solutions and things goes on. And so we create competences. What is interesting also. But our plans are to spread this. So other universities from Uberlandia, we are preparing like a course and they will replicate these courses on other computing and system information courses. So the idea is to get more knowledge and to get more competencies. And to me, the key point is to put all these actors, this local ecosystem, innovation ecosystems together. This is not easy. Sometimes it's hard. We're from the university. Sometimes they look at you, oh, come on, you're from the university. What are you doing here? But in our case, this is not complicated because we have a background in the market and so in the industry, so that's interesting. And by the way, you need to have the conditions for that things to happen. Maybe you need to have all this. So we have locally all these companies, what is really interesting. So in different areas, I can pick up, oh, I have a company that can do this. Oh, I have another problem. Oh, there is another one that can help here. So we have a very rich ecosystem. And by the way, what I do believe is that the iHub concept, that is the moment of the iHub concept. Because first you need to create the ecosystem, the lab, the node, the infrastructure. But as long as you have this, if you have the infrastructure, you have your hacks, you have your servers, your storage. If you have only that, you have nothing, because this means nothing. What is important is then the next step, which is connect.
An adoption. And,
Put on top. So the next layer is the iHub. And after that, we have the services and the products.
And talking about adoption, this leads me to the concept of FIWARE Marketplace. By the way, you cannot miss the session of FIWARE Marketplace tomorrow, because you will find out that this is going to be very instrumental in the growth of FIWARE. But talking about Marketplace, which will be the place where the offerings about companies, organizations that are doing something with FIWARE, developing products, offering services, FIWARE iHUBs can be instrumental in playing the role of feeding that marketplace. So, Vincent, what is your vision on that, particularly in the area of one of these sections of the marketplace, which is going to be the powered by FIWARE solutions?
Logical next step after rapid prototyping, after market validation, then we have to go to the market and to let the world know that you have a valuable solution. So, of course, this marketplace and this label is really a good vector to go global from a local development, and also it can be a good way also to find the business partners, or for business point of view, but also for collaboration and with various maybe ambition and various size. For instance, that's what we try to do, to collaborate with Orange in France to develop a direct communication between the LoRa network and the context broker API. And this is a need for an enterprise, for a startup that needs to get these components. And then we have developed, collaborate together with Orange, and we know that in Romania, in a iHub network, in Romania, in Cluj, a startup has the same kind of needs, and we know that also Orange can help in this area. So the marketplace must be also a way to rapidly assemble the right partners to address a specific market need.
Very good. And another part of that marketplace is going to be the place where we will advertise all those devices that have been created by default with the ability to connect, plug and play with FIWARE-based backends. So we are talking about the FIWARE IoT Ready program. Could you ever elaborate on the work you have been doing in trying to engage device manufacturers in getting into the marketplace?
Yeah, sure. So this autumn, I have been actively involved into the facilitation of the FIWARE IoT Ready program. And I think what is very crucial in this still rather early stage of FIWARE, while there's still no strong brand for FIWARE, I think it's very important to have this individual interaction with companies to introduce them to FIWARE, then tell about the IoT components, then tell about the FIWARE IoT Ready program, certification, and then the benefits coming from this. And it's not only about talking to the companies that have already FIWARE coming from the accelerators and so on, but I think there's a huge potential in IoT device manufacturing field that they don't know FIWARE yet. So I think it requires really a lot of individual, let's say, effort and being there and talking to them and introducing them to FIWARE. And I think that's where the FIWARE iHub can play a crucial role, in my opinion. And when talking about the marketplace, I think this is really one of the best, let's say, selling points, because once the device manufacturers see, okay, if I'm certified, then I will be listed in this catalog of devices, and that gives me exposure to system integrators, to companies selling to smart cities that want to avoid the vendor lock-in. And I think that is really the trigger when they say, okay, I will do this, because that's the way how I can differentiate my devices from others that are proprietary and so on. And especially in Austria, it is a nice country, but it's still rather conservative. So for the IoT device manufacturers in Austria, once they know about the FIWARE, about the IoT Ready program, and that there are around 100 cities that commit to the, let's say, FIWARE standard and so on, they see this as an opportunity to open up new channels beyond Austria. Maybe they get the first pilot in Spain, which I would say is a role model currently for FIWARE, or in Germany, not necessarily Austria. But I think I also want to add that to attract companies to the FIWARE IoT Ready program, it doesn't happen overnight as well, because startups have very tight roadmaps. They are delivering to their first pilot customer. They don't have time to implement FIWARE now. So you have to keep on being in touch with them, and that's why you need this local partner, local FIWARE iHub, that will guide the IoT companies during this process. Maybe I have to go back to this one gateway manufacturer next year once they have done now certain implementation, and then they can come back to FIWARE.
Mm-hmm. Very good. And what could be the role of universities? What is your vision in that respect? And not only vision, but experience there in Brazil, where you are setting up this so interesting FIWARE iHub in Uberlandia.
In our opinion, in our case, we are leading the FIWARE hub at Uberlandia. Mm-hmm. So we're doing their role that they're doing. But by the way, the university is really important, because it's about creating the competencies, it's about giving the knowledge, and so we can provide some training and some courses, maybe optional or additional to courses, and to train the students and to have them to know the knowledge. And more than that, to show them maybe the opportunity to create startups, or to show them the tools. That's a very interesting option also. So the role of the university is important in order to create this, to train people and to have the support and maybe the technical skills. I think that each iHub to me is like it's a very unique being. So each one will have the characteristics and problems and challenges. But this role of training, that's important. So I think that all the hubs must have something of this support. Maybe a university, or it doesn't matter. It must be connected to the hub, some way of train, to form, and to create competences. This is really important. And by the way, you were asked about what we have there, and I forgot. We have that at Uberlandia, like a living test bed. And today, 3 hours earlier, they are launching this project at Uberlandia. Mm-hmm. And so it's a district that's being built. And as long as it's being built right now, they're deploying infrastructure, sensors, and this will go to, as long as we have this deployed, open data will be generated and stored in the FIWARE lab, the node at Uberlandia. So it's important to have all these connections, and not only the training, you have the different flavors our competencies to the iHub to make things happen.
And you, Vincent, mentioned before the collaboration with Orange, and while you come from an SME and startup, and there are many startups also around your local ecosystem, how is this connection of large companies and SMEs and startups going on, and how it's working in the particular case of FIWARE? What is the experience and how is going?
Well, the motivation is the business case, is to show that there are shared added value at the end of the process of collaboration. So it sounds evident that if an infrastructure provider, a big player in the area of communication like Orange, has deployed, for instance, a LoRa network, a LoRa offer, as it has been discussed before, for developers, solution developers, they do not want to deal with a specific protocol like LoRa, like Sigfox or whatever, and it's important to add this middleware layer and to have the possibility to use it as a service. It's important to develop this added value service and to know the need of the developers, of the solution providers, and it's really at the node, the connection node between the infrastructure provider and the solution providers.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Well, if I may just comment what Vincent said, maybe a telecom operator is a nice player in the iHub, because we have that at Uberlandia also. The telecom operator, and when I said about this district, the operator, they are providing the connectivity, and also they are interested in having calls, in financing startups.
Yeah, well, certainly what I see also is that there is a high complementarity, because operators, they have learned the lesson that they cannot go with the final applications. They are not agile enough to perform the innovation that is needed. The operators are good in creating infrastructures and stuff like that, but not in creating the innovation and the final application. And that is where the startups, the SMEs may come and arrive together, working also with the universities and so on.
1 week ago, we organized a hackathon together with Orange and Faubourg in a university to validate the technology, LoRa plus FIWARE middleware.
So a nice combination of university, large company, and
then directly we have the skills available in a few months.
Okay, so we are approaching the end, and I would like to close with a sort of final statement by each of you, final message you want to deliver to the audience, starting with you, Flavio, because we want to end with a lady
That's fine.
at the end.
Okay, well, what I do believe is, to me, the strength of FIWARE since the beginning, it's about being open. It's about the possibility, if I want to create a private cloud, if I want to get the enablers, change the code, create a FIWARE 2.0, that's my problem, I can do it, okay? The idea of being open, to me, is really important, and it's really the strength of FIWARE. And to me, the next step is to grow. So the growth is really important, because as long as you have a bigger community, this really matters. So the iHub, this kind of initiative, is really important. Also other ones like Mundos, so these initiatives, they're important to help the FIWARE community to grow. So to me, it's worth, because of it's open, because of the proposition that is made, and so it's like, to me, like working with Linux, you know. So that's the idea, and contributions. And interesting to say that not only in the market, in the industry, but also in the academia, we can have research, we can, you know, try where to get better and improve and contribute with open source, with code. So this is really a movement, and the iHubs, I think that's can help to grow the community, which is the most important asset.
Thank you, Vincent.
I would say invest the energy in bottom-up approach. Think about the needs before thinking about the technical solution. And if we succeed locally, of course, we will succeed globally. And our local example is that we have a startup powered by FIWARE that will be present at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January.
Very good. Thank you. And Eva, to conclude.
Okay. I will keep it short. I just want to say I think that the FIWARE iHub, it's not about now having a FIWARE node in the hub. It's much more about believing in the vision of FIWARE, where it wants to get and what it is now and in the future, and really bringing this message out in the market, talking to the stakeholders and really pushing now the uptake, because technology is there. It will improve it, but it's there, so it's not about having the node, but really going out in the market.
All right, thank you. So I think it was a very interesting panel, and let me give a big applause for the speakers. Thank you.